Hey guys, welcome to another year of Roy's Spreads. It was a pretty interesting draft. We've never done a online draft like that before. I think it went pretty well for the most part. I'm a little bit disappointed I didn't get all the players I wanted to. You guys drafted pretty damn well. I gotta say, it was a little bit more hardcore than it had been in years past. No Brett Favre being picked in the first round and shit like that. So congrats to all of you. I know everybody right now. We're all tied for first place. Everybody's all optimistic about their squads, but some of us should be and some of us shouldn't be. And I'm here to break it down. So here we go. Let's start off with the first matchup of the week. We got the Bungles versus T Team. Um, T Team is a strange squad. Tony's got a thing for just the Patriots, and he's got a thing for names that he recognizes. He likes little trophies like Tom Brady, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, Roddy White. Those are all solid players, but he's just kind of got a mishmash here. I don't see a superstar at any position except for Roddy White and Tom Brady, and that's it. Everybody else that he's got is a player. He's got some guys that can do some things, but for the most part, he got the Packers D and he got Mason Crosby, but those are the only two real marquee picks that he got outside of Brady and Roddy White in the first two rounds. So pretty poor draft, Tony. Sorry to say. But on the other side, Burbank Bungles looks really solid. I mean, really, really solid here. With Aaron Rodgers, Forte, Ray Rice, Tolbert as a flex. Receivers, I'm not so sold on, but he's going to have some big games from Kenny Britt. Hines Ward will be a contributor, 60 yards, maybe a touch, maybe not, something like that. Anyway, I don't think anybody's running away with this one, even though Rodgers already dropped the 28 spot for Burbank. I see Burbank winning this one, but like by 7 or something like that, because Tony's guys have some favorable matchups, and we'll see how this one shakes out. But I see the Bungles by a touchdown or so. Moving on, Jersey Madmen looks stacked versus Solid Snakes, which also looks pretty stacked. I'm looking at Madmen's roster here. Stafford, CJ2K, Mendenhall, Greg Jennings, Santonio Holmes with Sean Green as a flex, Jermichael Finley as the tight end, Kading, Pats D, and then Mayo as a D lineman. Very, very solid starters. I'm really afraid, actually. He's already got 15 points from Jennings. Finley only threw in a 5 spot, but whatever. He'll get his throughout the season. Meanwhile, Solid Snakes pretty much washed with them this week. Jimmy Graham and Pierre Thomas combined for like 18 points. Not quite 20. And he's got a good team. I'm looking at Flacco, AP, Felix Jones going to have a tough week, actually. Mike Wallace at Baltimore, I don't know how that looks this week. But his team up and down looks really solid. I just got to give it to the Madmen this week. I don't think there's any stopping him right here. Sean Green's going to run all over Dallas. Mendenhall runs surprisingly well against Baltimore. Very tough to pass on them. CJ2K at Jacksonville is just going to have a field day. Santonio Holmes should do well against that Dallas secondary. Yeah, I don't see any way Solid Snakes wins this one. Jersey in not a landslide, but is going to win by double digits almost for sure. The Koala Bears, Jordan, welcome to the league. Nice picture. Also, I like that. Very intimidating. Interesting. Jordan just married Liad, my little brother's oldest friend. And now they're in a head-to-head matchup here in the Fantasy League. Jordan, sorry about the Peyton Manning thing. He's the guy that drafted Manning in the 6th. Oh, well. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. Sorry it didn't work out for you. It was worth the risk, I think. So Kerry Collins is getting his start. I think that's a huge mistake. And I would rather start Sam Bradford personally. But anyway, Bradshaw, Lynch, nothing scary there. They should be able to play all right, but nothing scary at all. But Andre, Hakeem Nicks, and Dallas Clark look like a great play. Meanwhile, Little Brother's got Matt Ryan, Tough matchup at Chicago, but he'll do okay. Frank Gore is a beast, going to fuck up Seattle for sure. Tim Hightower's going to fuck up the Giants for sure. Fred Jackson might have a little trouble at KC, but he'll get his carries at least. Larry Fitz looking great. Not sure what Reggie Wayne's going to do. I got more faith in Reggie Wayne, though, than I do Dallas Clark with Kerry Collins, because Collins has that big arm. And Greg Olsen, I like the pick. Cam Newton's going to be looking at him. But they've also got Shockey, and they've also got a great running game. So I don't look for Olsen to have any kind of huge game, but he'll be serviceable throughout the season. I don't like this as a very high-scoring game at all. I'm looking at this more of a kind of a grinded-out 85 to 95 kind of game right here. And I actually have no idea who's going to win. I got to give it to the Koala Bears just because Andre Johnson and Hakeem Nicks could each score 25 and carry him over the top. Hike the Ball. Mike Finn coming out with the best of any team logos. I highly recommend you all take a look. It looks very stylish and classy as always, Mike. Thank you very much. Yeah, Breeze, McCoy, Blunt, Deshaun, Anquan. I like the risk with Kendricks, the rookie there. Falcons D. Yeah, honestly, I like Mike's team a lot. Their starting squad looks very, very good. Meanwhile, the Riots have a very good team with Rivers, McFadden. Foster, he's still got in his lineup. I don't think that guy's going to play, Brian, but go ahead, keep him in. Ryan Grant already had his mediocre week, of which half his weeks are mediocre, half his weeks are solid, and he'll still end up with 1,200 yards and 9 touchdowns by the end of the season. But you got no idea what to expect from the guy week in, week out. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying that. I've had him for years in other leagues. Plaxico Burress getting a start. I think that's highly risky, but high risk, high reward. He is a touchdown catcher. I'd obviously go with Welker over somebody like Burress, but Riots likes to live on the edge. I don't see Riots winning unless Rivers drops a 35 or 40 spot. Drew Brees already dropped 32. Half the work is done for Hike the Ball. If Rivers doesn't have a huge game, it is going to be a Hike the Ball win. But I really like this matchup. I think these are two very solid teams to watch throughout the season. I'll give it to Hike the Ball simply because Drew Brees' performance was just phenomenal to start, and the rest of his team can play pretty mediocre, and he'll put up a lot of points. Moving on, Sink Pissa. Also, excellent photo. I like it. Both these teams, actually, prime time, put up a very cool photo as well. I'm glad to see you guys getting into it. Yeah, Sink Pisser, I know you're real proud of Michael Vick. Just try to find the last time Michael Vick had 2 good back-to-back seasons. Just look at his career, stat sheet. It doesn't really happen for him. And I'm looking for the Rams to knock Michael Vick out for the season with a severe leg injury. And hopefully that'll happen sometime in the first quarter, just to make sure that there's no doubt that Vick's got just some bad karma coming to him. Peyton Hillis, I don't love, but since he can't really stop many people, so he's got a good matchup. I love Javid Best. Dwayne Bowe against Buffalo should do great. Jacoby Ford at Denver's a risky play, but, who knows? He might do a little something. I love Antonio Gates against Minnesota. I don't like playing Vernon Davis as well. I get the idea. You got 2 studs, might as well play them, but it's really a weird strategy. I just don't understand why you would rather do that than something more sensible. But I see what your bench looks like, and it makes me understand a little bit better. Meanwhile, primetime, Schaub's good. Adai is looking all right this week, actually, for Adai. He's probably going to get a lot of carries. MJD, high risk, high reward draft pick right there. If MJD gets back to original form, you got a steal. I think he had the 4th pick or 3rd pick or something like that. Maybe not that much of a steal, actually, but I love VJax. Miles Austin, not so much. I think he's got a real tough matchup this week. Percy Harvin, love to see him as a number 1 wide receiver. Let's see what he can do, but I really see him more of a great joker slot guy, but maybe he'll be able to develop into that like Steve Smith style number 1 receiver. You better hope too. Gronkowski's a nice play. I like Eric Berry too. That's a nice pick right there. I got to give it to Sink Pisser actually, even though I really want primetime to win. Sorry, Nate. I just do. But anyway, I'm gonna have to pick Sink Pisser by about 5 here. I think this is gonna be a really close, pretty damn high-scoring game. But just the matchups are just in Sink Pisser's favor here. You got a couple of nice matchups there too. Prime time. It's gonna be high-scoring, but I think Sink Pisser is gonna win it. And last but not least, Calmer Than You Are versus myself. Calmer Than You Are definitely has the absolute best of anybody's photo, actually, when I'm looking at it. That's fucking great. Yeah. We just made a trade, giving me Dez Bryant and Cedric Benson, and he got Mike Sims Walker and Beanie Wells. I love Dez. I'm looking for him and Romo to, connect for double-digit touchdowns this year. I think it's going to be a really nice pairing there for me. Very bad matchup at the Jets this week. Meanwhile, Beanie Wells, who just got sent over to Mike, has a beautiful matchup against Carolina, probably the worst run D in the league. And I got a terrible matchup, so maybe in week 1 I'm going to get the worst of it here. I'm looking for resurgence in D'Angelo Williams' career here. I think Megatron's going to do his thing. I think Dez Bryant's a superstar in the making. Aaron Hernandez should do well. I'm not sure. I might still swap out. I got Ocho Cinco. I'm gonna wait and see with that one and see what he does. I did leave Robert Meacham's points on the bench, but who knew that? Well, he's it's always a guessing game of who's gonna get the touchdowns there in Nolans. Meanwhile, I really like Calmer Than You Are squad, the auto pick squad with Steven Jackson, Michael Turner, and Beanie Wells, Brandon Marshall, Mike Sims Walker. Very solid team up and down. He's got some lesser guys at the wide receiver position, but plug-and-play guys. And overall, I like his team, pretty well balanced. But I think I got to give myself the win here because Charles, D'Angelo, and Ced Ben all have great matchups. Calvin can't be stopped. Dez Bryant's going to be catch and jump balls, and I just don't see Calmer Than You Are scoring more than 100 points, but I do see myself scoring over 100. So that's it. I give myself the win. Anyhow, I will talk to you guys later. Hope you enjoy the games tomorrow, and go ahead, prove me wrong, Andrew Weber. I'd love to see it. Not really. Peace.